Greetings from EAPN. Our storytelling journey marches on, and up next we have an opportunity to hear from WINAM Grassroots, a youth and women-led local organization making waves in climate change and agribusiness. Come alongside, let's learn together. Good morning, and thank you so much for sparing time for this, and also thanks for coming yesterday for the Tech Forum. Talk to us about yourself, the work that your organization is doing, and the position that you hold in the organization.
Thank you so much for the invitation, and good morning. I work with WINAM Grassroots as the program officer in climate change mitigation and coping strategies with women and youths on agribusiness. And I'm Lilian Nyaido. I'm born here in Kisumu, raised in Kisumu, so I know much about Kisumu because I really understand Kisumu. And when climate change came in, we understood the effect that it brought to our community, and that's why we find it so interesting working on climate change and how to mitigate the changes that it has come with. So it has come with a lot of difficulties. When we were young, we could predict when to do the farming, the first season, the second season, but nowadays a lot of things have changed. The raining season and the drought season has really changed. The harvesting has gone down. So we sat down as a team and thought of how can we come up with strategies that will help us in food security now that the climate change has catch up with us, and the effect is being felt by the community. And this effect was affecting mostly women and youths because they are the people at the bottom. They are the ones that were feeling the pain that came with climate change. So just to take you back before this climate change, we used to do some vegetables, the cowpeas leaves, and it was selling. And the time was during April. And that time we were on holiday for the April holiday. So we could take it to the market, sell it, and we were prepared for our May back to school. Then when climate change came, it was no longer there. So it was a very big impact to the community. And we see how our parents, especially our mothers, could struggle. You do the planting, the harvesting is not there. So what we came up with as Grassroots, WINAM Grassroots, we came up with modern farming activities. And then you see during that time they were concentrating on one vegetable. So we introduced other vegetables like the local vegetables that were not being planted in our areas, and they were taking shorter time. So that is how WINAM Grassroots came up, and we introduced the new vegetables, variety of vegetables for them to do plant, and then it also come as a livelihood to these families. Then as we introduced this, we met another challenge. You know, you do farming on land. And women don't own land. Youths don't own land. They use the parents' land. So it was an issue. When you want to plant, where am I going to plant? You are telling us that we do farming of vegetables, variety. Yes, we can do it. But where are we going to try to do it? Because we don't have land. So that is the time that we had to go back, sit down, and solve another problem of land issues. But you see, the climate change was here with us. The first time we did it, we had a very terrible result. There was flood, and all the vegetables were carried away with water. So we came up with another mitigation. How can we survive during the drought, whereby we sustain this farming? So we had an idea. That is the time now we had to bring up in the partners. We work with the county government of Kisumu. How can we dig DJs? You see, Kisumu is a very funny city. It's a village, a city, and you can't understand it, because a few meters from here you'll find somebody's home, and he will tell you, this is where my great-grandfather was buried, and it is within the town. So we had to think on how do we bring everyone on board? How do we mitigate the floodings? How do we mitigate the drought? So we came up, we introduced another crop, that is the cassava, which is drought resistant. So during the drought, the cassava could survive. During the short rains, the vegetables were doing well. And during the long rains, now where the floods was now coming in, we had to come up with creative activities where we were digging ditches to help these vegetables to survive the flood. And then besides that, there was a big land within Kisumu town, just a few meters from the city. There's a big land. In our language, we call it Namthoi. So Namthoi. So Namthoi is a big, massive land where people used to do farming, but because of the floods and the drought, it was just lying there idle. So we came up with ideas on how women and youths can be engaged to make good use of that land. And to your surprise, during the 3 days maandamano, the vegetables that people were eating in Kisumu were coming from that place. So these women are able to sell their vegetables, they can pay school for their children, the youths are engaged. The issue of land we came up with, we partner with another organization, a grassroots organization in Kakamega County called Shibuya Women Grassroots. They do a lot of land leasing, and they came up with a policy. So we partner with them, we borrowed the idea, their document, and then this one, it also brings the local authority, the local chiefs and the sub-chiefs in. So when I want to lease your land, we go to the chief office, we do an agreement that I'm leasing your land for 3 years, so I pay you, and I'm paying this amount. The witnesses are there. So it also helps us to solve the issue of the land, that youths don't have land. We can't do farming because we don't have land. Now it was solved.
So coming up with your climate action strategies, how do you leverage the local narratives and indigenous knowledge to amplify the impact of those strategies?
It involves a lot of capacity building, and we did a lot of trainings. And these trainings, we were doing them at the local level. We go to the grassroots, we go to the barazas, we involve everyone. That we need to come up with strategies that will help us solve the problem that we have at hand, which is food security, which is being brought up by the change in the climate, and it affects everyone. So what we need to do is to change our narrative of how we do farming, the crops that we are planting. We can no longer do maize the way our great-grandfathers were doing it, and it was doing well. Now if we do maize, everything disappear in the farm. The cost of production that you used to plant that maize, it goes. So we came up with new ideas and the modern way of farming to the community, which they really accepted because it was community centered. It came from them. If this is the idea you people you are bringing for us, and we know you understand what we are going through, then we are buying the idea, and it worked.
You have placed a lot of emphasis on the efforts you're doing around mitigation. And I understand that some solutions have universal applicability, while others are community specific. Could you maybe talk to us about a successful adaptation or mitigation projects that your organization championed and that we can adapt or replicate elsewhere?
One thing that our organization have really done well is creating work for all. And engaging the women and the youths in the society. Naturally in Kenya, youths don't like farming. It is meant for people who cannot go to school, people who are not doing well in society. But we've changed the attitude that farming can be a source of income. It can be a source of an employment. You don't have to go physically on that farm, but you can employ someone to work on it, and then that person will get a salary or wages from the work he has done. So we expand, in a nutshell, we are expanding the livelihood, irrespective of effect of climate change on our community. But we are trying to expand the livelihood through the mitigation processes that we are coming up with, like doing the modern farming, whereby you don't have to stick on the traditional crops, but we come up with crops that can adapt to the changes that we are facing because of climate change.
Yeah.
So this one has made it so nice that these women, through the county government of Kisumu, they have a marketplace where they take their mbogas. And like when we were young, we had to leave the house very early in the morning, around 5. You trek a long distance to take your mbogas to the market.
Yeah.
And then the cost was so low. But now we've made it so easy for these women that irrespective that we can't do the crops that we were doing because the climate change is here with us, but now we are coping with the change by doing other crops that we can easily get the market, and the market is readily available.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how does your organization ensure prompt relief and long-term sustainability for these communities?
Okay, we do something that a lot of community empowerment programs for women, and I'm a trained trainer by International Labour Organization. So we use that idea that you need to plan for your business. You need to plan for your farming programs. You don't just plant for the sake of planting. Also, we use other apps in the platform, social platform, that can help them acquire some knowledges on farming and when to use fertilizers and when to use though we encourage a lot of natural organic farming. We are so much on organic farming because we are also trying to save the environment, the pollution with the artificial or processed fertilizers. So we are doing a lot of capacity and women empowerment to this community, the women and the youth, and that has worked so well for us. And also we are trying to come up with long-term solutions to this problem, that you need to plant continuously, and you need to do we call it in agriculture rotational planting, so that you don't face the effect even if there is climate change. If there is too much water, the crops will survive. When there is too much sun, as in during the drought, the crops will still survive. So it's sustainable for all of them, irrespective of change in the weather.
So moving forward, I believe that collaborative approaches will always yield more impactful results compared to people working as in silos. So could you maybe share maybe 2 successful collaborations or partnerships that have been pivotal in advancing your mission?
You can't, some of these programs, you can't do them alone. And
you can't.
There's no strength in a one-man army. So we always believe in starting small, expanding and sharing ideas with other organizations, because you see climate change, it cut across. And most organizations, even if you are in health, you will find yourself touching something on climate change. So we do a lot of collaboration with organizations. I talk about Shibuye Women Grassroots in Kakamega, all the way from Kisumu to Kakamega to borrow an idea. And then they partner with them because they are much older than us. They have a lot of experience in that field. So we could invite them, come, do for us the training, they do for us the capacity building, and then we work together with them. if they have an activity involving agriculture and they want to improve on their production and the effect of climate change, which crop are we doing now, they can invite us. So you see, we share our ideas, we share our knowledge, what we are doing, and a lot of things is happening for us through that through that collaboration. And then we come up with how to improve the value chain of this product that we are producing. If I'm doing mboga, how many people can take it in this form? There is time that we have a lot of harvest. Where do we take the excess? Do we throw them away? So through this collaboration, we get a market from another county. We can work with Shibuya market, Shibuya Grassroots. We can work with this Nyalenda Young Task. There's a time we went there and showcased whatever we are doing, our vegetables, our cassava, and now in that value chain, we didn't take the cassava, the roots. Now we took the unga, the flour of cassava for porridge. And people were like, this is so impressive. So this partnership and collaboration, it helps you to expand your network. It helps you to reach more people and to touch more communities.
That's amazing. And what challenges have you faced while building these partnerships?
Wow, that's the biggest part of it.
I know.
The challenge usually comes when it comes to funds.
Okay.
Because you'll find our work plan is not matching their work plan. When we want to implement this, maybe whatever they want to implement is not yet connected with what we want to implement at that particular time. So the budgeting and coming up with one good thing at the same time, yet you didn't plan for it at that time, it calls for a sacrifice. And you see, with working with community, it involves a lot of sacrifice and a lot of adjustment. So you have to adjust your budget. At times it comes with a lot of challenges. You have to run up and down looking for funds for that activity to be successful. Or they have agreed, yes, we are partnering with you, but we are going only to show whatever we have. We don't have fund for that. So it's you to come in and fund everything. So the bottom line is that the funding part of it usually become a challenge, because at times our budgets are so much constrained, and expanding them at times become a very big challenge for organizations, especially the grassroots ones. So I think that is the main challenge that we face when it comes to collaboration. Another thing is transparency. If we have a program that we are running as WINAM Grassroots, and then we partner with another organization and we tell them, you see, this is what we want you people to do for us, give us the report and the data, so that we can also have what you have done and we can verify on what you've done. You'll have to pressurize them for you to get the report. So most partnership breaks at that point. They can't account for the money you give them out, or WINAM Grassroots is given money, we can't account for it. You'll be like, I'll never work with these people, they are not good people to partnership with. So if grassroots organization can be very transparent and we build that trustworthy ability between us, then collaboration will work well for us.
That's very true. Trust is actually the bedrock of any philanthropic endeavor. And still on that, how do you ensure that those collaborations represent the voices and the needs of the communities that you care for?
Just to take you back, I said that at WINAM Grassroots, we are community-centered. And everything that we do comes from the community. We don't make decisions in a boardroom. So when we have a collaboration with an organization, we ask them, what is the gap that you want to fill in your community? What is the paining point in your community? Because for our community, it is food security, or it is employment, or it is livelihood. What about yours? If we come together, can we solve this problem whereby all the communities will come up and say, of course, we've gotten a solution to our problem. So if yours cannot rhyme with ours, then we are like, there's no need. Yeah, we can't work together because we are not going to help the community. And we are a community-centered organization. That is our mission. Our vision is to empower the community at Grassroots. So that's how we consider our partnership and collaboration with our other organizations. We also check on their background. What have they been doing? How have they been doing it? So if we come in, we know that these people, they're people we can work with because their history is very clean.
One of the main challenges you highlighted is around financing, and I would love to know.
Okay, so far we've been using a lot of our funds and resources, and we are looking forward. If we can, now from the yesterday trainings, we've seen a very golden opportunity on the philanthropy network. And we really want to venture into it as soon as possible so that we can run a lot of these activities that we have in our work plan and our plan. So what other funding models are you currently adopting or you looking to explore for the future? We are working on a lot of proposals that goes hand in hand with whatever we are doing on the ground. And one of it that we are pursuing now is work for all. We want to engage everyone, all these women that stay at home because they don't have work, all these women that cannot go to farm because they are claiming of too much sun or when we do the farming, the floods will come and carry our crops because Kisumu is known with flood issues. So we are working on such proposals and we know we'll get funds because whatever we've been doing and our background shows that we have the ability and the capability of expanding these activities.
Short-term project sustainability and long-term project sustainability is a classic funding dilemma. So how do you go about addressing immediate on-ground needs versus ensuring long-term project sustainability?
Okay, one thing that has really helped us as WINAM Grassroots, we made the community to believe that they owe the project. The project is not ours. We are not the ones that are benefiting from this project. This thing is yours. We are only doing the outline and the administration work and guiding you people on what to do. So when we have a short-term activity to attend to, you'll find that the community themselves, they come out of it. They come with ideas that we can solve it this way. If it is flood, let us go with our jembes and our rakes and do the digging of the ditches, and we can raise the walls so that the water can get a way of flowing. We have the Kisumu County government, even though at times they give us promises that takes time to be fulfilled, but they have played a role in one way or another that has helped us to solve these impromptu problems that come in everyday activities in an organization. So the fact that WINAM Grassroots is more of community empowerment and the ideas come from the community themselves, at times they come out to solve the problem. Then talking about the long-term activity, that is where our work plan help us a lot. Our strategy is that if we do this, what if this happen? What solution do we have? If we plan to do the planting in April, we miss rains in April because of the unpredictable change of weather. What are we likely to do? That is the time the cassava will come in. That is the time we'll have to connect with other communities. How are you doing it? We can come up with irrigation system for our farmers, and then you find we can sustain the project or the programs, whether there is the ground is sweet or it is hard for everyone, but the program has to continue. And then we've worked so much on our value chain. So that has also helped us in managing our funds and also managing the activities that are supposed to be done the way they have been planned.
So if you met a potential donor today, or a philanthropic entity that is willing to support your work, how would you articulate the importance of supporting grassroots climate actions?
The best way to support the climate action change is by doing it at the grassroots level.
Why?
Because that is where the pain is being felt. And those are the people who can explain to you. They know the solutions. It's only that they can't implement them. If given the forum, they will tell you, if we do this, then this is what will be the outcome and the solution will be felt. There will be a big impact. So if only we can consider the ideas of those who are at the grassroots, because they're the ones who know whatever is happening. At times, let me give an example. At times we go to them and we are like, do you know people you need to plant? Because we heard in the media that the rain is coming. They will be like, no, we are not seeing any sign. So we think, let us take some time before we do the planting. So they understand the paining point and how to close those gaps in the community. So if we can go to the grassroots, then I think this problem will be solved effectively.
So how does your organization approach climate awareness and education within that very community that you serve?
As I said earlier, we do a lot of capacity building. We do a lot of trainings at community level. And at one point, I think our very old people in the community thought that God is angry with us. That's why the sun can decide to shine so much that is now burning, or the rain can come too much to an extent that you don't even understand why. Because at one point in Kisumu, which I didn't see happening when I was young, the rain could start raining from 8 a.m. in the night till the following day midday. So it was like, what is really happening? So that is the time we saw the gap. We went to the community and tell them, you people, look here, this is what we are facing, and it is not only in our community, it is a global thing. So we have to change our behaviors, we have to change our social life, we have to change our traditions and culture, how we do farming, how we want to tackle this climate change. And it starts from me, it starts from you. So see how you use your waste from the kitchen waste. See how you use your plastic so that we can save this global crisis.
Are there any advocacy campaigns you're doing at the local or the national level?
At local level, we are doing a lot of advocacy. And I think we are one of the organizations that is really pressurizing the county government with climate change, because we want them to do something at Namthoi so that Kisumu can feed itself. From there we can feed Kisumu. It's a very big land and it's very fertile. So we are doing a lot of advocacy on that. And even at community level, we are planning to go international if we get the network, and we'll go full blast.
Good luck with that.
Thank you.
In the age of digital campaigns, measuring real-world impact is very crucial. So how do you evaluate the success or reach of your advocacy initiatives?
Thank you so much. The best way that we do to measure this is by doing a lot of follow-ups.
Okay.
And our follow-ups are based on case studies from these farmers. We get their case study. What is it that you are doing that you are not doing before our trainings, before our capacity building? So the story comes from them. Their success stories tell us that there is an impact that they are giving this community. And then they do recommendations. Okay. That now that you've done for me this, if you could have done this also, I could have moved 2 or 3 steps ahead. So through that, we can evaluate ourselves and say, yes, we did 60%. So we need to do 1, 2, 3 so that we reach 80 or 90. So through their case studies and their stories, the improvement in their livelihood, they can sustain their families, and at the same time, they can sustain their businesses and farming. Okay. Yeah.
WINAM is a youth and women-led organization.
Yes.
What is their role in those advocacy and awareness efforts that you do?
Okay, women, the reason and why we choose women and youths, they more or less can blend very well, because youths, when they interact with women, they feel that motherly love, and at the same time they do encourage women when it comes to digital and technology things, and that's why we really appreciate the presence of youth in this community, in our organization. At the same time, the presence of women. And the reason, the role that they play in advocacy is that women do have a lot of networking. So we use them when they go for public participation. They ask about what is it that the government of Kisumu County government is doing on farming. What can they do for us as farmers? And the effect that we are feeling from the climate change, because now they know the effect, why they can't do the farming the way they used to do. Yeah. So where can we sell our products after doing farming? So it brings, and it's the community that are asking the stakeholders. Yeah, they are bringing the stakeholders to account. And like when Grassroots goes to the governor's office and we say, you see, Mr. Governor, you need to do this to the community, let's say for Kolua Central. It won't sound good and it won't be taken serious. Then when they go for public participation and they raise the information or the problems by themselves. And where do they get this capacity to do this? From WINAM Grassroots. Yeah.
So are there any challenges that you foresee if we do not step up and take action now?
Of course there will be. There is this generation that if we don't fight for them now and we say no now, then that generation will suffer more than we are feeling the pain of climate change. So the time is today, the time is tomorrow, and we have to come up and say no with a loud voice. If it is calling for screaming, let us scream so that we can mitigate this climate change problem. Yes.
Okay. Could you maybe shed light on any projects or initiatives in the pipeline that you're particularly enthusiastic about?
Okay, the one that you are working on now, and I think it's something cooking. It's about marketing. Okay. You see, we've involved these women in farming. Okay. They can now produce their products. The question is, do we have a ready market? Okay. So we are taking them now to agribusiness to manage this climate change effect. Okay. And at one point, if you walk in any supermarket in Kisumu, you'll find some fresh vegetables. And we've done a capacity building that we don't need to get someone from Nandi County to bring vegetables in a supermarket in Kisumu. Yet we have lands here. So that is where we are heading with these our groups too. There are so many. So we want to bring up this value chain so that we can improve their income. Kenya is having issues with employment, and our economy is an agriculture. It's the backbone of our economy is agriculture. If we can empower that and get for them a ready market, like there's one group that is doing beekeeping. So what they do is that they produce honey. After producing their good quality honey, they sell it in a container of a bottle of Dasani. Number one, it's a plastic, not good for our environment. Number two, it lowers the quality of that honey. So if you see that honey in a vodka bottle, you will be like, is this really honey? Why is it in a vodka bottle? So what we are doing now is it's to tell them there is a way you can brand your product.
Okay.
Yeah, there is a way you can package your product so that it improves your income. We no longer have to sell them in a throwaway price, and we are targeting higher markets, and that's when we want to bring the KEBS to certify their products. We want to bring other relevant authorities that can certify their products, so that if you walk in a supermarket, you can see Kolua women vegetables branded, and that is where we are heading with them.
Okay, and that's really amazing.
Thank you.
So as we wind up, we had a conversation yesterday around philanthropy and technology, and that is like driving communities towards sustainability.
Yes.
Is there any role that you see technological advancements playing and other innovations playing in agribusiness and in climate change mitigation and adaptation?
Yeah, actually, now if you can't embrace technology, then you are not moving with the current situation we are. Technology is everywhere. Yeah, technology is everywhere, and we need it everywhere. So what we are encouraging and that's why the youths are playing a very vital role in our organization. Most of these bloggers are being sold online. Like, let's say they produce them. These youths are good in taking photos, and we always encourage them, don't just take a photo. Take a talking or a speaking photo. That somebody in Kibos will see that there is some fresh vegetables in Nyamasaria. And believe me not, people come all the way from Lolwe to come and buy mbogas in Nyamasaria. Online. They just see them online and they come for them. So technology is playing a very important role in climate change, motivation, and bringing people together, that we have a common problem. And I think COVID-19 also taught us one thing, that the world is like a village. And we can have a very common problem that can bring humanity together. So the same way the climate change is bringing us together. Everybody in the world is feeling the pain of climate change. But the only way we can come together and fight for this problem is through technology. It's making it so easy. It's making the world to be like a village. You can talk about climate change here in Kisumu with someone in another continent, and you come up with strategies and ideas of how you can mitigate and cope with the change.
That's really amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here with us to educate us and the sector at large. So we appreciate you big time.
Thank you.
But I believe you have one thing that you would like to talk to our audience about, maybe about WINAM.
One thing that I want to leave you with is that we have a common problem, and the only way we can solve this issue is by coming together and change our behaviors, how we manage our waste, how we do our farming, and how we advocate for this change on climate change, so that we can bring back the world that we used to have before.
Thank you so much for speaking to us today, and wish you all the best with all the projects and the initiatives that are in the pipeline.
Thank you.
I hope the world knows. So thank you for watching this. My name is Purity Momo. See you in the next episode. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.